Hey, Dr. T.
Yeah, what's up?
So we're all parents here. It's rewarding for sure, but we're always tired, burnt out, exhausted, all of the things. Why?
Yeah, it's likely because our nervous systems are just so overtaxed. We're stuck in fight-flight. Research shows that 14% of parents will experience burnout, and of all adults, about a quarter of adults experience at least some sort of general fatigue. We all know being parents, it takes a lot of energy, and it's oftentimes the result of just being just being stuck in that fight.
So with our nervous systems being overloaded in that fight or flight, where does that stem from?
Its fancy term is called dysautonomia, meaning that if we're constantly triggering that fight-flight system, because in our body, we are either in fight-flight protection or we're in rest, digest, growth, recovery, regeneration. But if we're constantly sticking on that gas pedal, it learns to be on and it can get more stuck in that, and that's what's called dysautonomia. It's just a dysfunction where we should have a balance between the two.
Mm-hmm.
We should be able to kick on and then kick off, but if we're constantly utilizing that, it can lead to, again, fatigue, neurologic dysfunction, and then impact what's called the vagus nerve, which then can affect all systems of the body, particularly with energy, immune system, and oftentimes people, when they have stress, they're in that a lot, they'll have gut stuff too. It affects that brain-gut connection there.
I've also heard a lot of the 3 T's. What are those?
That's in essence just pretty much when people think about this life. Mm-hmm. There's 3 T's, meaning traumas, toxins, and thoughts. These are our 3 main stressors that we all will experience. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with them. It's just that many times they just become overwhelming, too much of them to the body. Mm-hmm. So like traumas, meaning like, again, what that means is traumas, like, whether it be falls or injuries, car accidents. But what most people don't think about as a trauma is those everyday repetitive stressors that we don't experience at, when we're doing them. Mm-hmm. It's many times those things that where it just kind of comes out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. We don't know what we did different, that we didn't do different. It's just that the accumulation of that has just become too much for the body. Mm-hmm. And now we can start experiencing things. Mm-hmm. So those, like, the traumas are the physical stressors, the chemical stressors, or you can input nutritional stressors or toxins in there too. Mm-hmm. Whether that be chemical stressors, or exposures to chemicals, medications, walking beauty salons and smell the nail salons, things of the nature, but we're all surrounded by that too. Air pollution, especially in the valley, we sit in that, and it's not bad as long as the body can keep up with it. And then emotional stressors, right? Like, it's just life, work, family, deadlines, all these things what I like to say, they're like plugs of life going into our outlets, right? Mm-hmm. If you think of like a power strip, there's only so many plugs that can fit in there before the fuse blows. Right. And so that's those 3 T's.
You mentioned the brain-gut connection. Where might that affect like the energy issues that parents are seeing?
So it's, we all have an energy reserve, right? It's a fuel tank in our body, in our system, and if we're constantly drawn from it, again, too many plugs in the outlet can suck and draw that. Mm-hmm. And if we're constantly stuck on the gas pedal, our brake pedal, which is, again, a big part of what's called the parasympathetic, that rest and digest system, is what's called the vagus nerve, can become less efficient because we're not utilizing it as much over time. If we're constantly using the gas pedal, it's just what we use, we make stronger. Mm-hmm. It's like practice. Mm-hmm. But that's where that brain-gut connection as well, it can start to affect our gut. And then if our gut's starting to be affected, this is where it's harder for us to break down food. Mm-hmm. Natural enzymes break down food. If we're not breaking down food, we're not absorbing the right nutrition. If we're not getting enough nutrition, our fuel is affected. Mm-hmm. And that can lead to this cascade of affecting our energy. Mm-hmm. And then also too, being stuck in that fight-flight can affect our sleep, and then, it can affect if we have trouble going to sleep, if we have trouble staying asleep, or even if we sleep, we may not get into that deep enough level because our body and our nervous system is kind of waiting for that line to jump out. Mm-hmm. Even though we may be sleeping, we're not getting that deep sleep. So a lot of factors that can come into play, but really impact as far as our overall ability to adapt and have energy.
Everybody drinks caffeine and supplements in other conventional ways, but that also doesn't work. What more can we be doing, or what should we be doing?
Yeah, they kind of like are a quick fix, right? Like as a Band-Aid to an underlying problem, but it's not fixing the cause. It's trying to treat the symptom, right? Mm-hmm. That's where it's a great business model. There's a Starbucks on every corner. It's an epidemic, fatigue, right? And that's where you see it, but it's not treating the cause. And so that's where, like conventional ways is, reach for that quick fix, like energy drinks, caffeine, quick sugars, sleep meds, sleep aids. Sometimes even doctors will say, it's just part of being a parent, right? Like it's part of just life.
Yeah.
It is, but it isn't, right? Like
Right.
It's not getting to the cause of it, the symptom maybe. And so, uniquely, as far as how we focus on it, we looked at that cause. We looked at the nervous system, and that's where focusing on the nervous system, finding those areas of that dysautonomia, that dysfunction in the nervous system, and helping rebuild that, and then supporting it with other good lifestyle things can really make a shift.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So parents should just get their nervous system checked.
I think that's where, if that's important to get the source of it, 100%. You got to know, one, if that is the problem, and then two, if there is, then that's the way to get a specified